So this is a discussion on the Game Awards and me not liking that they're awards. I don't like awards this way. Like, I think it's really weird when you are comparing games which elicit all these different reactions and responses and playthroughs and everything else through it that are radically different from each other, how you compare them, right? Because at some point then you're almost comparing genre between each other, because you have like the action class of games will often lose out to something more thoughtful, or like Baldur's Gate 3 wrapped it all up. And is it the best game? I mean, how can is Alan Wake 2 the best game? Like, they're radically different games, and to compare them diminishes their differences, I think, and diminishes the experiences that you have while playing them. And so that's why I don't like it. I understand why they use this format, but it's this classic thing of you anchor to what you know and what has always existed, instead of saying and stepping back and going, well, why are we doing this? What is the goal here? And the goal is to celebrate the industry. Okay, how do we do that? And I also get Jeff has a problem. So I've gone to the Game Awards a bunch of times. I've been there to accept awards that we'd never went up on stage for, right? We won. Yay! We don't go up on stage. That's fine. Because acceptance speeches are garbage for that audience. Now, it's for that audience, right? Because Jeff's trying to take games and bring it to the broad general audience, which is weird because the broad general audience is games already. I think this was a good value thing to do previously, and it's kind of been diminished over time just as games have gotten so big. But whatever, that's still a value. That's a valid point to go after, right? But those acceptance speeches just are always weird then, right? And so I think the acceptance speeches when you go to something like the GDC Awards, where actually I've gone on stage there as well, but I didn't talk. I let Eric do all the talking. Is different because it's heartfelt. You're talking to other people who you've made games with, who you know in the industry, and like those are often towards each other, right? And lovingly towards each other, right? And I like that, right? And not to say that the acceptance speeches the other night weren't having some of that as well, but I understand why they do it, because it doesn't fit there, because the game industry isn't a industry of celebrities, well, except for one, it seems, and that's good. That's good because there's a lot of people making stuff, and there are some solo devs for sure, right? But most of the time, if you hear somebody's name, there's a monster team behind them of people who have also worked on the game, who have also been valuable. And so I'm fine with us all just kind of doing that. And this is as a person who was out in front of stuff unfairly because I didn't do the stuff, but they just needed somebody to throw in front, and they thought I could talk to the camera. My mush mouth, Jesus, like what? Yeah, all right. But so, right, I don't know. But and you see this where then Jeff pulls out the celebrities come out and give out the awards because they're trying to pull the attention, and I hate that celebrity culture of stuff. When I was working with the VR stuff, I had a lot of interaction with Hollywood, and quickly would just be like, no, and they're like, well, this director, he did these Marvel movies. You got it. I'm like, no, I don't want to go. I'm not going to go down. F him. I don't care. Like, I just don't. I don't. There are some people who are very nice in the industry. In the film industry, there's some people who I truly like, who have truly just been nice, good people. That happens in all industries, right? Like, I'm not trying to demonize it that way, but it's also a craven, shallow industry built on just people I don't ever want to interact with. And so I don't have to. But yeah, tell some agent that you don't want to meet some big director, and then you get yelled at. F them. But whatever. But so, like, how do you celebrate the games then? I don't know, right? I think like Day of Devs does a really nice thing. I think Greg Rice and Tim are thoughtful in how they promote smaller devs there and how they celebrate it. And I'm going to say this again: don't ever come at me attacking Jeff Keighley about the Game Awards and how it's this big corporate thing only. I've personally known indie devs who I've introduced him to, or that he's gone and sought out, and he doesn't just be like, are you something as a checkbox? He will go play their games. He will go hang out with them. He will go learn about them, right? He cares. And it doesn't always come out that way, and I know he has a Kojima infatuation that's weird, but whatever. Like, we're all people. But so don't come in here slagging that, right? I'll just block you. And in fact, This last time, my friend Ulf was on stage, and talking about his new game with 10 Chambers. And when he first showed the 10 Chambers, very first trailer was as little of a trailer as you can get away with because his team was so tiny. Little side note: when you call your friend from Sweden when they're in the U.S., you still have to pay international Swedish phone charges. My mistake. I had a phone call that went long too. When you get a text the next day from your phone company, hey, you got a really big bill now. I'm like, what? But yeah, all right, man, I'm wandering. But yeah, I don't know. I don't have an answer here, right? And some of this is just always continually talking about and promoting games. One of the things I've decided I was going to start doing was putting a little bit more production in some of these TikToks where I share some of the other games, some of the small games that I play or buy or check out. Especially early access stuff that people just aren't putting a lot of eyes on, just to say, hey, check this out, take a look at it. I think it's okay to talk about games in that way without putting this stamp on it and saying, approved by me, right? Instead, it's like, check this out. I don't know. It's also a rainy, dark Saturday morning that I am sleepy and tired still. So there you go.